Okay, let me set the scene for you. I was 18, senior year of high school, and my parents were out for some business dinner. Usually, I'd be hanging out with friends or cramming for some upcoming test, but that night, the house was all mine. Our home was this sprawling, old colonial on the outskirts of a small town, the kind of place that feels a bit eerie when you're alone, especially after dark. My folks were pretty skeptical when it came to anything supernatural. Any mysterious noise was just the house settling or the wind. My younger brother, Jack, was cut from the same cloth. For a 14-year-old, the kid was painfully logical, always lost in some science book or another. He was out for the night too, sleeping over at his buddy's place. So there I was, kicking back on the couch, remote in hand, clicking through channels and feeling pretty chill under the warm glow of the living room lamp. Time was passing by. It was getting close to 10 p.m. when I decided to head to the kitchen and whip up some hot chocolate. Everything was totally normal until it suddenly wasn't. I stood up, stretched a bit, and sauntered into the kitchen. As I was pouring milk into the saucepan, I heard a voice. "Hey, can you come down here for a sec?" It was Jack's voice, clear as day, coming from the basement. My first thought was that he'd come home early from his sleepover. Maybe he forgot something or got bored. It wouldn't be the first time. "Just a minute," I shouted back, turning off the stove and placing the saucepan back on the counter. I walked towards the basement door, which was at the end of a long hallway lined with old family photos. As I approached, a feeling of unease washed over me. Something felt off. Why would Jack come in without announcing himself? And why would he go straight to the basement? Ignoring the nagging feeling in my gut, I opened the basement door and flicked on the light. "Jack, you down here?" No answer. I descended the creaky wooden steps, each one groaning under my weight, echoing in the dimly lit space. When I reached the bottom, I found nothing. The basement was empty, just as I'd left it. Confused, I went back upstairs, scanning each room as I made my way through the house. No sign of Jack. No sign of anyone. I even called his mobile. It went straight to voicemail. Weirded out, but trying to shake it off, I returned to the kitchen. Maybe I was just hearing things, I thought. Stress from school, lack of sleep, it could have been anything. I turned the stove back on, intending to return to my cozy evening. But then I heard it again. "Are you coming?" "I'm waiting for you," the voice echoed, again from the basement, again unmistakably Jack's. My heart raced. Every instinct told me not to go back down there, but the voice was so clear, so vivid. What if he was in trouble? What if something had happened? Taking a deep breath to steady my nerves, I decided to go back down. This time, I grabbed a flashlight and my phone, just in case. As I opened the basement door, the uneasy feeling grew stronger, a sense of dread settling over me like a dark cloud. I hesitated at the top of the stairs, my hand hovering over the light switch. But before I could flick it on, the bulb flickered and died, plunging the stairway into darkness. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. "All right," I whispered to myself, "you've got this." I turned on the flashlight and began to descend, each step creaking louder than before. The beam of the flashlight danced across the walls, casting eerie shadows that seemed to move of their own volition. When I reached the bottom, I panned the flashlight around. Again, nothing. No Jack, no intruder, just an empty basement filled with old furniture and forgotten memories. It was then that I noticed something that made my blood run cold. My phone had no signal, no way to call for help, no way to reach anyone. I took a deep, shuddering breath, trying to steady my racing heart. Just as I was about to turn and leave, I heard it a whisper, so faint it was almost drowned out by my own shallow breaths. "Why didn't you come?" I swung the flashlight around frantically, trying to locate the source of the voice, but there was still no one there. I bolted up the stairs, slamming the basement door shut behind me, and rushed back into the living room. I locked the basement door and every other entryway to the house, my hand shaking as I fumbled with the locks. My mind was racing, trying to make sense of what had just happened. Had I imagined the whole thing? Was it stress, sleep deprivation, or something else entirely? But how could it be? The voice was so clear, so unmistakably Jack's. The phone rang, jolting me out of my thoughts. I looked at the caller ID. It was Jack. I picked it up, my hand trembling. "Hello." "Hey, it's me. Sorry, my phone died and I just got it charged." "What's up? You called?" I felt a mix of relief and confusion wash over me. "You weren't home just now." "In the basement?" "What? No, I've been at Mike's all night." "Why? Is something wrong?" I hesitated, unsure of how to explain what had happened, unsure if I even understood it myself. "No, it's nothing. Must have been my imagination. I'll see you tomorrow." We hung up, and I was left alone in the living room, the weight of the unknown hanging heavy in the air. I never heard the voice again after that night, and to this day, I still don't know if it was a figment of my imagination or something far more unsettling. As much as I've tried to rationalize it, to attribute it to stress or lack of sleep, a part of me can't shake the feeling that I was not alone that night, that the voice in the basement was something or someone beyond my understanding. And so, the house remains a sanctuary by day, but a place of unanswered questions by night, leaving me forever wary of the thin line between the known and the unknown.